as we recognize this Memorial Highway in honor of Sergeant Sean Renfro. As we begin, I'm going to have Chaplain Manny Hayes come up for an invocation. Immediately following that, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard will be presenting the colors. Chaplain Hayes.
Thank you. Sergeant Sean Renfro, Sean was a man of strong faith who believed that there is a purpose in all things. His family now lives by the Bible verse, Romans 8:28, which states, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Sean served God through the Jefferson County Sheriff's as a sergeant. His last moments were spent in the same way, serving and protecting even when off duty. So now is the time for us to have faith that God will watch over our family of law enforcement, but especially his family. As we bow our heads, let us call upon the Lord for blessings. Heavenly Father, we do ask for your blessings on this dedication. We ask that you bless the Renfro family as they carry on Sean's legacy of serving others. We ask that you pour out your blessings also on these men and women of law enforcement and keep them safe from harm's way. Allow them to return home each and every day and night from the rounds of shepherding the sheep. May all that travel this highway named after Sean be blessed and become aware of the sacrifice this man and these men and women perform each day. Amen.
All uniform personnel, watch head, up. Down. Right shoulder, up. Reset! Halt!
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order! Halt! Reach up. Right. Fix. Left. Fix. Order. Arms. Ceremonial. Rest.
Folks on the stage, you may be seated. As we honor our fallen Sergeant Renfro and his family, I'd like to take a few moments to recognize several individuals who helped make today's memorial dedication possible and special. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the three primary legislators who carried forward this bill. A couple of them you're going to hear from in a few moments. Senator Tim Neville from Senate District 16, Representative Justin Everett from House District 22, and Representative, Tim Leonard from House District 25. Today we're also joined by Board of County Commissioners from District 1, Libby Szabo, Casey Ty from District 2, and on the stage speaking in just a little bit, Commissioner Don Rozier from District 3. I'm also honored that we're joined by several elected officials from Jefferson County today. County Coroner John Graham, Ron Sandstrom, the County Assessor, and Faye Griffin, the Clerk and Recorder. As well, the County Manager Ralph Schell is here today. I believe we're also joined by a number of law enforcement agencies and their CEOs today, from Edgewater, Golden, Wheat Ridge, Lakewood Police Departments, and representatives of the Colorado State Patrol. And in all likelihood, I have forgotten somebody. I apologize for that. And we not only respond on our own, we have our partners in the fire service and emergency response agencies. The Elk Creek Fire Department, Bill McLaughlin, I'm not sure if he made it, Indian Hills Fire Chief Emery Carson, and Inter Canyon Fire Chief Skip Sherlaw. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank for their support the Transportation and Engineering Director for Jefferson County, Steve Durian, and the Road and Bridge Director, Larry Benshoff. As well, we've had a number of folks from our office who have helped pull this together, my public affairs staff, our fleet management folks, Dan Ayton and the entire crew for making sure that this roadway is safe today for us to conduct this ceremony. I'd like to introduce those who are joining me on stage, beginning with Sergeant Renfro's family, Sean's wife Crystal, their children Alex, Max, Nadia, and Denny. Crystal's brother Jedediah Baker is a deputy with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. He and Sheriff Ted Mink will be unveiling the sign at the conclusion of this ceremony. Sean's mom Linda, his sister Heather, niece Kayla are also here. I've already introduced Representative Leonard, he, Senator Neville, and Representative Justin Everett were critical to the passing of this bill to rename this 7-mile stretch of Highway 285 as the Sergeant Sean P. Renfro Memorial Highway. Also, Highway 285 falls within Jefferson County Commissioner Don Rozier's district, and highway safety has been much of a priority for him, as it has been for all of us at the Sheriff's Office. Together, we all celebrate a little good that comes from an incredibly tragic death of a great man. On January 3rd, 2015, Sergeant Renfro did what he always did. He put service above self. When he and his friend Sam stopped to offer aid to 3 passengers involved in a single accident. While Sean was assisting with the accident, another motorist lost control of her vehicle, crossed the center median, striking Sean and Sam. We will forever be grateful to the agencies who responded to assist Sean, Sam, and a state trooper who was injured in that same accident. The Elk Creek Fire Department, the Indian Hills Fire and Rescue, and the Inter Canyon Fire all responded with the Colorado State Patrol that day. Today we honor Sean's selfless dedication to public service. Sean split his 15 years within the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office between patrol and detentions, serving in both capacities before and after he was promoted to sergeant in 2008. During his career, he earned 2 sheriff's commendations for life-saving. He also earned many commendations from supervisors, peers, and community partners, and citizens, including recognition for his role assisting with the evacuation for the Bluebell Fire on June 3rd of 2013 and the catastrophic flooding in September of that same year. Far more important than his professional work is his family and the work that he did in his community. And I know that there are a number of people that are representing here today from the football team that he coached, and many members of Sean's family as well. Sean is remembered for his humor, his kindness, and above all, putting others first. As a result of his selfless giving, we introduced the Sergeant Sean Renfro Service Above Self Volunteer of the Year Award. to permanently memorialize his penchant for helping others. And quite frankly, that is a model for all of us. Today we unveil another permanent memorial to honor Sean, and I have the privilege of inviting Sean's widow, Crystal Renfro, to say a few words. Crystal.
I'm not much of a speaker, so I'll keep it brief, but I just wanted to relay that we are humbled by this honor, and we know that Sean would be humbled as well. He died doing what he loved and what he believed God called him to do. We hope that this sign serves as a reminder to all who pass by of the man he was, of his service to his community, and most of all, to everyone who sees it to drive safely. To our family who provide us some bit of comfort. Thanks to everyone who came, all the family, friends, community members. We appreciate your support, and without you, we couldn't have made it. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. We are very glad and honored that we are able to recognize Sean by dedicating a memorial highway in his name. I'm also speaking today, and I'm going to have come up State Representative Tim Leonard and also State Senator Tim Neville. They will be followed by County Commissioner Don Rozier.
How's everyone doing? It's interesting that we have such a beautiful day today. Back several years ago, when Sean was called to a higher calling than we have today, the weather wasn't exactly like this. I think this is always a sign. When we were looking at the joint resolution and we actually introduced it in the state senate in March of this year, it was a similar day to that January day. It was cloudy, it was overcast, but there's always a better tomorrow. And today, I don't think it's any kind of accident that we have such a beautiful weather to actually honor Sean and also his family. One of the things that you need to know about joint resolutions and renaming a highway, it's not something that the state senate and the state house take lightly. It's not something that happens every day. In March, we have quite a bit of work that's online and on tap. And everything comes to a halt when something like this happens, because every legislator understands the importance of the sacrifice of Sergeant Renfro. It was also a great honor to be able to see, for Sergeant Renfro to see, not only the work stop and to deal with this opportunity, but to have every individual state senator from both parties stop what they're doing, take time, and actually sign on to the resolution. That's extremely important. I've never seen that in my history in the state senate. But the thing that I want you to remember, that we should all remember, and every time I go by this sign, I'm going to remember, is that Sean was a great officer. Sean was a great servant. Sean was a great guy. And I was asking Crystal earlier, didn't get an answer, but I was wondering, maybe I have to ask the sheriff, his sense of humor is something that I will always remember and cherish. And one of the things that, as I was reading up on Sean and getting to know his background, it was so extremely important. And I think that's something, if you haven't had a chance to, as you talk to each other today, I would focus there, because that really tells you everything that this man was and what he means to us and means to the community. But every time I look at that sign, the first thing I'm going to know is that he was a great guy.
Thank you, Senator Neville. It was Senator Neville that introduced the bill, and Representative Justin Everett and I were lucky enough to be able to work with him in the House of Representatives. And so, on behalf of the state of Colorado, the House of Representatives, I'm very honored to address you today and to be here for this memorable occasion. This is something, as the Senator said, doesn't happen very often, and we did stop what we were doing to accommodate the family and all the officers and all the public servants that came down to the Capitol that day in March to be able to make this occasion what it is today. And it's done because of the person, not just alone what Sergeant Renfro did, but the example that he set for everyone, and especially his family. The chaplain recalled that the family derives its strength and its inspiration from Romans 8:28, and knowing that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him and have been called according to His purpose. And Senator Renfro, or Sergeant Renfro, served his purpose, and he served it well. And so I encourage you to keep his purpose alive in each of our lives, so his legacy lives on. And that is in the spirit of our Lord, that it's trusting that our goal is to be obedient in what we do, not necessarily to be successful in the things that we do. He cared for his family, his fellow officers, for his community, and for our God. And the residents of Jefferson County will miss him, and the legislature of the state of Colorado extends our gratitude toward his family for his service for all of us. May God bless you, and may God grant safe passage to all those who travel on this road. And now I'd like to introduce Commissioner Roser, who's going to speak on that safety issues. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Don Rocher, one of the Jefferson County Commissioners, and I would like to thank Sheriff Schrader and the Renfro family for being allowed to say a few words today. Thank you. I'm already going to go off script. I think we've heard time and time again, sacrifice before self and putting yourself out there. And that's what Sergeant Renfro was all about. You know, the environment that we're surrounded by today is incredibly inviting. At the same time, it can be extremely treacherous. Mountain roads with their steep grades, sharp curves, narrow shoulders can be challenging even in good weather, but especially challenging in poor weather conditions. As Sheriff Schrader mentioned, transportation safety is a passion of mine. A passion that over the past 5 years has led to numerous studies, plans, eventual improvements to our Jeffco roadway system and to the state roadway system. Improvements with the intention to make traveling on our roadways, whether by car, truck, motorcycle, bike, as safe as possible. But government can only do so much. We can only do so much to make roadways safer. Motorists must also take responsibility. Knowing our driving ability, our limits, and eliminating those distractions that vie for our attention or impair our judgment, we must eliminate those. Please always exercise caution when driving to avoid similar tragedies. I echo Senator Leonard's sentiments this morning that this be the last memorial highway dedication in Jefferson County. Let me restate that. This would be the last highway memorial dedication in Jefferson County, and hopefully all of Colorado. While I did not know Sergeant Renfro, I know what kind of man he was by his actions last January, and I'm very honored to be able to participate in his dedication ceremony today. May God bless you. May God bless the Renfro family. And I have a little prop I brought up that I forgot to bring up. Sorry, Sheriff, I kept this after the shred-a-thon. But in many cases, when officers get out of their vehicles, this is all that separates them from harm. Nothing much there. It's kind of to warn people. And we must be aware of that. We must take heart in that. And to know when conditions aren't right, to slow down. Because this will not stop a car from doing a lot of damage to another car, but especially to a person. Thank you, and may God bless you.
For those of us who did know Sean, we will forever remember how he always put others before himself, whether on duty or off. 15 years, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office enjoyed the benefit of Sergeant Renfro's selfless dedication to public service. Today, I am grateful for those he served, and I'm also grateful for those that he served with. This new memorial sign that overlooks this stretch of road are a fitting reminder of the man who overlooked it in the performance of his duties as he protected citizens of Jefferson County, and especially along this 285 corridor. We can all honor him simply by driving safely on the Sergeant Sean Renfro Memorial Highway as we return home to our family and friends and our work. I'm now going to ask Deputy Jedediah Baker and Sheriff Ted Mink, who was the sheriff when Sean was unfortunately killed, to now unveil the sign. And as they do that, this ceremony will now be concluded. And I thank you again for your attendance and your participation today. Again, thank you, and drive safe as you go home.